Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the On Deck Podcast, a Prospects Live podcast. We are sometimes referred to as baseball potpourri, but right now we're being referred to as what's on your TV and what's going on in your earphones. And we're happy to be here with you. Your regular hosting team is back, Jack. And with you first, your friend, your host, your boy, it's me, Drew Wheeler of the Prospects Live team. With me, as always, your friend and mine, the youngest man in the game. The man, what did I call you? Never hatless Nate Rasmussen. Nate, the stash is looking great. The hat is on your head. What's going on?
Yeah, fresh shave, nice new Prospects Live hat. We're out here, and Rhys White is back. Our friend is home, Drew. It's been a little while. We had to bank some episodes, if you guys couldn't tell, from our 4th of July special. But yeah, Rhys is back from his wilderness adventure, and
give him all of his nicknames, Nate.
Do I get to do that? The face of baseball media, the free range human,
the middleman.
The middleman. Yeah. What else? There's got to be another one in there somewhere.
I feel like
the middleman's my favorite, by the way.
I think that was very good.
His favorite movie is Draft Day.
Oh, I hate that movie. I hate that movie so much. That movie's so
no, you love it, Rhys. Remember, you love that movie so much. Sponsor us, Kevin Costner. Anyway, what we've got for you today is a very simple but very chock full information episode because your boys are going to do a mock draft. Yes, that is right. The draft is just under a week away, and we're going through Comp Round B today. What up? We're hyped. So, Rhys, you've randomized an order, and not really an order. We're picking for 10 teams. So, it may be out of whack. You may get a little bit of Drew, a lot of Nate, then some Rhys, and mixed in. You're just going to have to wait and see. But the mock draft simulator is up and ready to rock and roll. Pay for that at prospectslive.com. Don't do a mock draft any other way because this tool is dope. Nate, to you, sir.
Yeah, let's play this brand new intro I made, and then let's get right to the mock draft.
I don't want to try that hard. I ain't going to show that card. People start to wonder if you live here now. And the boys in the corner are trying to figure you out. I don't want to play that game. I don't want to know your name.
And we are mock drafting, fellas. We're here. I don't know who has the first pick. We randomized the draft order, and we're picking for 2 full rounds with some comp stuff mixed in there. So we're going to get a lot of picks here. I don't know exactly how many, but as you can see on this wonderful screen over here, we're going to C2. We're going to Comp Round 2. So probably 60, 70 picks for you guys right here. So without further ado, let's get it right into it. It'll be about a minute per pick, and maybe not as much analysis, but we've talked about a lot of these guys before. So now we're trying to get a realistic fit for these guys. You know, Drew, Rhys, and myself, we've done some research. We've used our best buddy Max Ellingson's insight because he's been doing awesome articles on the Prospects Live website about draft trends. So we're going to use those trends to try and fit, the best players where they should go. So without further ado, I'm going to click begin draft here. And Rhys, who's on the clock first?
You are on the clock first with the Washington Nationals, who just fired their general manager to insert Nate as their general manager. It's been a whirlwind sort of trip for you, and you now get to make the decision who is the first player being drafted in this draft.
I've always said I wanted to be the youngest GM in history, and it's happened as of right now. So that's really cool. I'd love to talk to you guys about this a little bit because I feel like this is a more team draft kind of situation. This is an ownership pick at this point / a already decided scouting team pick. This isn't, necessarily a general manager pick, but what I heard is that they haven't decided who they're going to take at 1 yet. Do you guys have any lean if it wasn't more of an ownership pick, if it would be someone like Ethan Holiday over maybe Cade Anderson, who I would normally mock here?
Well, so you're the ownership group plus the general manager plus Nate Rasmussen. So pretty good thing going for you right now. So that's where I think we should take this mock. But also using Ellingson's we're gonna call him Ellingson's Edge trademark. We should add the trademark in there. That'd be really funny. So basically using the stuff that Max has noticed, but now with an interesting twist we don't have a general manager. We don't have, we have someone coming up from, I believe, the analytics side is going to be taking over the reins of the draft.
Really,
very
no
interesting
baseline.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can go any sort of way they want.
I guess we have no idea what this means. My thought would be, if I was an owner, I would take Ethan Holiday with this pick. I think that is the flashiest pick. I think that's your high, maybe your highest upside swing at 1. That makes sense for Washington. Drew, what were you going to say though?
I was just going to say that I feel like, and I love what you just said, and I'm not bouncing that pick because I think that's a good call. I think that the alternative to it is the pitching correspondent to Holiday, and that's your boy, Nate, Seth Hernandez. I think that's the 2 options for this pick because they need to make an impact here for sure.
I love it. I think it would be very, very, I would love Seth to go 1 or even in the top 3. I think it's not very likely. He's the number 1 player on my board I just released, and I think he's the highest upside player in this draft. I think it's the closest thing to an all-star that you really get in this draft, in my opinion, or maybe even a tier above that if everything works out right for Seth. But I've been talking a lot. I'm going to go Ethan Holiday here because I think that makes the most sense from all of these angles that we're considering, and we're going to move on to the Angels, who could go a lot of different ways.
And the Angels are me. We are go a lot of ways is definitely one way to put it. Let me pull up the American League West standings because that could really determine how I'm going to go about here. Because let's be honest, the Angels, they sort of march to the beat of their own drum. They're technically not out.
They're not really out of it.
They're not out of it. They're 11.5 games back, but of their division. But that doesn't mean anything right now. The Astros could tumble. I mean, the Blue Jays are the top of their division, which kind of blows my mind every time I look at it. But yeah. So okay. So I'm sitting here. I'm in Perry Minasian's seat. I have a lot of hair gel. That guy must go through like a tub a week. Shout out to him. But we are going to go with Cade Anderson. We are going to go with the mix of college guy who I can get to the majors pretty quickly. Honestly, maybe tomorrow when the draft happens. And, it's a good 3-4 pitch mix. Good, steady mid-rotation as starter. Kind of reminds me of like when Casey Mize was the number 1 overall pick. That's kind of where I think Cade Anderson, what we thought Casey Mize was going to be a ready-made mid-rotation starter. That's what I think Anderson is.
I love that pick. I believe I'm the Mariners at 3, Rhys.
You are the Mariners at 3.
For
those who don't know, I just asked ChatGPT, or as my mom calls it, ChatGPQ, to create us an order or to give us 10 teams. And Nate has the Mariners, Drew has the Phillies, and I have the Tigers. So yeah.
All right. So for my Mariners, I think that they go one of the pitchers here, and if I am going to go off of my own board and who I prefer, I go Liam Doyle here. I think it's a really fun pick for a team that hasn't, had a whole lot of lefty starters. It's a very righty dominant and switch pitcher dominant kind of farm system. And I think
the only one, the only switch pitcher. So they're cornering the market.
Pat Venditti, look out.
I don't know if I've seen Doyle mock to the Mariners at all. I would be very happy if the Mariners took Liam Doyle. The other pick here would be Seth Hernandez or Jamie Arnold. I prefer Doyle to Arnold and Seth Hernandez. I think the Mariners would prefer to go pitcher and from the college ranks. That's just kind of what I'm getting from their vibe. So I'm just going to go straight to Liam Doyle at number 3.
I mean, could Liam Doyle come into the Mariners bullpen right now and get an inning or two? I think that he could definitely handle it. I think that's why I think Liam Doyle might be the best player in this draft. Like the upside arrows are just up there for him. I don't think I'm ever going to release my draft board, but Drew and Nate have seen it. Liam Doyle comfortably number 1 for me. Okay, we are going to the Colorado Rockies, and Drew, your favorite team, not named the Phillies. You get to make the selection.
Thanks. It's awesome, guys, because what we've just done is we've gone through 2 of the big 3 college lefties. And, why stop now? I think that the Rockies in this instance, I think they'd be hard-pressed not to take Jamie Arnold. The lazy narrative is they can only get frontline starters from the draft. I don't think that that's necessarily lazy as it is maybe just a hard fact of life. However, I think Arnold could play really well in Coors. I'm always going to defend a pitcher in Coors. Arnold has really bizarre release traits that kind of masks maybe good to average stuff. I think Arnold is nearly ready. He fits kind of what the Rockies want for a quick mover and could be in front of the rotation type guy to go with my favorite pitcher, Chase Dollander. Give us Jamie Arnold in the mountains, please, sir.
Jamie Arnold could be an SP1 in Colorado because There aren't a whole
Well,
lot.
he could be SP2 because Chase Dolander exists, but I like what you're going
Okay.
for.
I made a comment like that on the Daily Sheet recently. I said Michael Foray could be the Orioles' #1 starter. That's because everyone else in their rotation is not very good. Okay, we have to keep this moving. Nate, you get some devil magic sprinkled on you. This is actually quite fun. I guess I tell you guys what team you're going with as we're doing this. Nate, you are the Cardinals. Where are you going?
So with all of so me and Will Thompson, the tallest guy around, have been going through all of Max's lists in preparation for our draft stream that will be coming up on Sunday. You'll see me and Will and Rhys and Drew on it. You'll see all of us on it. And we've been trying to figure out these trends that Max has been setting out to really figure out what these teams are going to do. And as much as St. Louis keeps getting mocked these prep shortstops, I don't think that's the way that they're going to go. If anything, I think if they went prep, they would go Seth Hernandez. With that being said, I don't think people are going to love this. I'm going Ivar Arquette here. I think it makes the most sense based on how they draft. I think that this is the pick. It's a college bat with pop. I think he fits their model. That's where I'm going. And Adam's not gonna be happy. Matt's not gonna be. There's no one who's a Iva guy. It feels like. But if I'm thinking about where they're gonna go, this makes the most sense with the three pitchers off the board.
Adam and Matt aren't going to be happy with whoever they pick. Let's be 100% real.
That's
But yeah. Okay. Now we're moving. Unless you have more, Nate, we are going to go. I am going to be heading over, and I'm going to be eating sandwiches with fries on them in Pittsburgh. Okay. So as we know that they lean prep, they've gone pretty prep heavy. Levi Sterling, maybe he doesn't know how to throw strikes. That might be a problem. Wyatt Sanford, does he hit for power? Who knows? But they have Connor Griffin, who I think is the #1 prospect in baseball, and that sort of shows you where they've gone in their most recent draft. Okay, they've gone high upside prep because Pittsburgh, much like Colorado, is not going to spend much in free agency. So the way they're going to get a 5-WAR player is they're going to have to draft and develop him. And I think that, Pittsburgh is really lucky here. We're going to go with Seth Hernandez. They like to they have a tendency to dip into Southern California, draft some arms there, and they tend to be pretty good in other organizations, except for Paul Skeens, who technically is from Southern California, but he played at LSU. Seth Hernandez, you are a Pittsburgh Pirate. I'm very sorry.
It's kind of a slam dunk pick, though.
I love that.
It's
great.
It's a really fun pick.
I thought that's where you might go. I know we are trying to follow Max's because Max has put in an insane amount of work. I think he's published 3 today as we're recording.
That's amazing.
So yeah, he's grinding through these. Now on to Miami. I should pull up my text messages because that is where I have everything. I am the Miami Marlins. They have a lot of really fun things going for them in their broadcasting booth. Shout out to Jack McMullen. Okay, they also lean prep. Let's go with this guy. I've heard some things about his demands after the draft, but that doesn't matter. I think we're going to go with Eli Willits. They tend to love going prepsters. I'm just kind of drafting the best players on the board, honestly. They sort of fell to me this way, and I kind of like it. Is he going to take an underslot deal? I don't think so. But Miami, no state income tax. Eli Willits. Let's get this rolling. You guys have any thoughts on that while I look up who's next?
I really like that pick.
I think that's the one pick there, right? I think it's between him and JoJo Parker. Depends on how you like Billy Carlson, but all the prep shortstops are there, which probably wouldn't happen in the actual draft. But this is an exercise, right?
I don't know. I kind of like the way this draft is falling, and it's a very real possibility that if Miami has their pick of the prep shortstops, I think Willits is as safe as you could get, maybe.
Yeah,
interesting stuff.
I think so too. Drew, you're not being able to draft is continuing to keep going on. I think you draft a lot in the middle of this draft.
I go nuts 20 to 28, so y'all just skip that if you're not a Drew guy.
Those are the fun picks.
Those are the fun picks. Some of the draft I think is really fun. Nate, we are heading up. I hope you have your passport with you. We are going to Toronto.
Oh man. Honestly, I think this is a really interesting spot. I think they go Kyson Witherspoon, or someone that I really like here is Gage Wood. I think it's a little early, but they could cut a deal. But I'm going to go best talent available in Kyson Witherspoon. I think he's a top 10 talent on this board, and maybe the Yes Savage model, right? It worked for them last year, getting a kind of ready arm. So let's go Kyson Witherspoon.
I think that's the right call.
Hey Nate, guess who goes again? You do, and I hope you like disgusting chili, because that's where we're going. Cincinnati.
So Cincinnati typically goes high floor college followed by prep. but I don't know if I love my college options here. I don't think Brennan Summerhill is really an option for me at 9. I think this might be an Ike Irish spot. And that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go Ike Irish at 9 here for Cincinnati. I think it fits the bill. I think we're putting together a really good draft. This isn't exactly how like JoJo Parker would have been off the board 5 picks ago if it was up to me, but I'm trying to feel fit here. I think this is the fit.
But the one thing I want to stress to people, teams don't know how this draft is going to go. This draft can go in any sort of way. If you want to play games with, bonus pool and everything, basically after Kate Anderson, Liam Doyle, and Jamie Arnold, you can really play the draft however you want. So there's going to be some fallers in this draft. So this is not an unrealistic probability. So yeah, I'm liking the way this draft is going. After that, we have the White Sox. That is a 2. Oh, Drew, you get to pick.
I prepared for this, guys.
No way.
So here's the thing. We know from Ellingson's Edge that the White Sox really like to go college early. We know that they value your traditional Power 5 schools, but they're unconventional. I'm going to credit Nate and Will's hard work. Unconventional is a great word for the way the White Sox approach the draft. So I think this is the year we buck the trend. And with all due respect to my boy Max, I think that JoJo Parker, the slide ends here. The White Sox are going to keep building up the middle with some another very talented player that I like, JoJo Parker from Purvis High School in Mississippi, very close to me. So good pick. I'm happy with that one. What do y'all think?
I love that.
Do you think that they're riding high on the first time that they've got a high school first rounder to the majors since like the 1990s?
Rhys, I was going to bring that up. Isn't that crazy?
Maybe they're feeling a heat check sort of thing going on. Yeah. I can understand why they went so college heavy for so long. So yeah, I like that pick a lot. Unconventional, I think, really undermining that. We are going to go to Sacramento, and let's hope that Nate likes Sacramento more than Luis Severino.
I love the Athletics. I was talking to someone today who's a Braves fan, and we were like, what if we just both pick new teams and it's just the A's? They're like kind of lovable now, and even though they're in division, I really like them. I need a hat. So our Ellingson's Edge for the Athletics is safe college bats with upside in their second pick. So we see that with like a guy like Nick Kurtz last year. Man, I'm going to do it, Drew. I'm going to go Andrew Fisher underslot here. I think
keep drafting first baseman. Let's just keep loading up on him. Nick Kurtz, Brent Wicker's probably a first baseman. Soderstrom's a first baseman. Tommy White is the first baseman.
They keep doing it, and it's like at what point do they stop? Do they ever stop? Because they should have stopped 2 years ago or last year, and then they kept doing it. It has to be their model, is that they just want guys who can hit, and they don't care about positional value. And I think it's a silly pick, but I think it's a model pick.
That's Fisher, though. He just hits. He just gets on base. I love this pick. This draft rules. I don't want to hear any trash about this draft.
This goes back to Moneyball. Just get on base and you figure it out from there. Okay, we are going from Sacramento. Beautiful this time of year, unless you're Luis Severino and you hate your life there. Although I wouldn't hate my life if I made that much money living in Sacramento. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's go. Let's go from California to Texas, and I get to pick. Using Ellingson's Edge, we know that they like to go slot college early. They like to go quote their guys. So we're going to go with someone. Do I go boring? Do I go exciting? Do they really have a shortstop prospect in the system is a question I keep asking myself, because their system is full guys who play shortstop but are not going to be there. Sebastian Walcott is probably not a shortstop. I'll have to ask Will about that. We're going to go with Merrick Houston. Is he the highest ceiling guy? No, I think it's a pretty like Dansby Swanson-esque ceiling. But Dansby Swanson made himself some serious money. And similar-ish college uniform color. So shout out to me. Merrick Houston, I hope you like no state income tax, because you're going to be a Texas Ranger.
It's a fun pick.
I like the pick. I think Dansby's a wonderful 95th percentile outcome for Merrick Houston too, Rhys. Good call.
Okay, now we are going back to California, back to what used to be the Battle of the Bay, but San Francisco, and I picked this one. Okay, so San Francisco has a new front office involved that does not like numbers. I don't think they know how to add or subtract, so that might be a problem. They like to go big swings, though. And what could be a bigger swing than this name? I'm gonna have to learn it. We're gonna go with the shortstop from Arkansas. I don't know how to say it.
Vahiva Aloy.
Vahiva Aloy. Is he probably a shortstop? No, I don't think he's a shortstop. Is he a second baseman? Yes. Can he hit 20 to 25 home runs? Yes. Is he probably going to hit 230? Also probably yes. But in San Francisco, they want to take that swing, and I think this is a more than justified spot to take the swing.
I'm starting to come around on Vahiva Aloy a lot in this draft. He's like rising when I thought that he would be like the kind of guy I don't like, but it's the Javier Baez comp is well and alive. It really is.
This was the sort of the time that I started to like Seaver King in last year's draft, and I think Aloy is sort of falling into that. Do I think he's going to hit? Probably not, but if he does, it's pretty exciting. Okay.
That's fair.
The Tampa Bay Devil Rays, unless you're that organization that sued him years ago to take away what was the best name in sports, in my opinion. Nate, you now get to wear really cool City Connect uniforms and get lost on bridges to the ballpark.
Gavin Fiend, and I'm sprinting to the podium.
Oh yeah, this is
I have never
Gillen
ran
all over again.
faster to the podium than to put in Gavin Fiend's name, number 8 on my personal big board. I'm starting to really like the kid. And this is a perfect race pick, and it just makes a lot of sense.
The prep shortstops are falling in this draft because this is not the organizations that are just, a lot of them at the top, they want safety. So
I'm Fiend over Carlson too. It could be either one there, right? Like you could understand both, but I think Fiend has the upside.
Well, while I've talked a lot about the Red Sox, I get to be there. I get to be the person who picks for them. And you mentioned Fiend over Carlson. I'm rushing up and I'm taking Carlson. Carlson fits everything that this organization loves.
Yep.
Did he play in Southern California? Yes.
Yep.
Is he a shortstop? Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one of the more slam dunk picks. If he makes it this far, Boston fans have to be doing backflips, although they should still be crying about losing Devers.
I agree completely, Rhys. And this is just a spoiler for what will be my big board released at some point, either today or tomorrow. Billy Carlson's in the mix for my number 1. That's a really hot take, I know, but this is a marble floor lifted really high in the air. Now, is it a shanty ceiling, maybe 6 inches above it? Could be. But I think that this is a really, really high likelihood major leaguer at the bare minimum.
Is it Mason Wynn without the 80 arm? Is the question I've been asking myself with that.
Although I think that it's possibly a 70 arm. I think that the defense is maybe an 8. Honestly, I'm looking right now. Carlson's who I'm currently film studying, guys. I'm looking for a reason to not like it, and it's not going good so far.
I don't blame you. I think it's a pretty high. I mean, it sounds like an oxymoron, but a high floor prep pick.
It is though, Rhys. You're absolutely right. And I'm just going to put this out into the ether now. I might do a backflip in downtown Atlanta if Billy Carlson goes to school. I'm just going to float that out there. Okay, please proceed. It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
It's not happening. This dude's getting paid. And speaking about getting paid, 16th pick, the Minnesota Twins. That's a Nate pick.
It's Caden Bodine. They love catchers. They love catchers.
The slide has happened way too much. I wanted to pick him at other spots. It just didn't make sense.
That's the thing with Bodine is I think he's a top 10-ish talent, but is there a spot in the top 10 that makes a lot of sense? I'm having a lot of trouble finding a spot for him up there.
I don't think that there's a spot 10. Go ahead.
He reminds me of Ryan Jeffers.
I love that.
Like it is the next Ryan Jeffers plus hit tool. Power might come, and it's a good defensive catcher.
It's just a really good starter.
I really thought you were going to go Bodine to the Athletics at 11. I could have.
I've done that. I did that on a mock at some point in the last week with someone, and I really liked that fit. And for some reason, I was trying to get weird with Fisher. But yeah.
Hey, you're never gonna. Yeah, I love that. But hey,
I'm always down to get weird.
Same.
Same. Okay, let's go to the Chicago Cubs. Oh, that is me drafting for our lovely producers on Path to the Show. The Chicago Cubs love large conference performers with carrying tools. Last year they drafted Camp Smith, who I don't know if you guys know this, is not in the organization. Now, large conference performers with loud tools, that I don't see a fit here. So it makes me wonder if I should go somewhere else. I'm willing to workshop this idea around. I mean, Cole Mathis does not hit well. So that's an understatement. I thought that'd do
large conference carrying tool. Jay Slaviolette.
Jace Laviolette, but what's the carrying tool that he's going to be sitting?
Power.
He's going to be what? Kevin Alcantara. He's Kevin Alcantara, just going to be wasting away in AAA for his entire life. I also think Franklin's better than Kevin Alcantara, if we're going to be honest. I don't know if I've had that conversation on here yet. I don't think people are ready for it. But I'm going to go with a little bit of. Do I just go with a high floor guy? I know Laviolette. I just don't think this is the Cubs. So,
go with your heart. Go with your heart. Rhys.
I'm going to go with Tyler Bremner. I don't care for Tyler Bremner, and I've made that very well known. But is he a safe number 4 or 5 starter? Probably. I think that the Cubs can they do well with change-up first guys, and then they can kind of tweak the fastball shape just enough. I mean, Cade Horton doesn't have great fastball shape, and he doesn't look good in the majors, but he's going to be good. So I'm going to go with Tyler Bremner, who on other boards is much higher, and this is a pretty good fall.
Both times that we have drafted for the Cubs on this podcast, we have drafted Bremner to them.
Yeah, it seems like that's, I think we as a podcast are lower on Bremner than most. I think, honestly, that's a lot of me doing the carrying. I don't know if you guys I don't hate Bremner. I just don't get it as much as other people are. They're like, well, he's a safe guy. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you can draft safe guys in the second to third round. Like Santucci last year went in the second round. I would rather have Santucci than Bremner.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Yeah, the fastball for Bremner scares me. I think that's
the fastball and the slider shape are bad. It's an inconsistent. Now there is some stuff behind the scenes. I don't want to. It hasn't been made public, so I'm not trying to do that. But guess who gets to pick again? Me, the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks love guys who are short, and they're going to need to get their shoulders fixed. So I don't wish that upon anybody. Prepster, pretty common. Jojo Parker's already picked, right? That was the one you sprinted up. Okay, we're going with Steele Hall then. The next faller in this pretty good shortstop class. Steele Hall, he's a really good runner. Questionable power. He's kind of like Slade Caldwell in a lot of aspects. So yeah, I think Steele Hall. Also, I believe Slade Caldwell was from Alabama as well.
Arkansas. You're in the right neck of the woods, though.
All the same state once you get around that portion of the country. Let's be real. They all vote the same. They all eat the same food. It's all the same. Anyways, yeah, Steele Hall, you are an Arizona Diamondback because they do a really good job of scouting in that region.
They do.
I believe I'm Baltimore, if I remember correctly.
That's a good question.
It's not me, so.
I was looking for the city names. That was not Orioles. That is Nate. That is Nathaniel.
I think there's a lot of options here. As much as we want them to go pitcher, are they actually gonna do it? Is the real problem. Rhys, what do you think the likelihood is of them taking a pitcher?
I don't think they're ever gonna take a pitcher.
They have to take one out of their 3 first-round picks. Is how I see it.
I agree. I don't think it's here.
I know who they're going to pick. They love guys. They love fourth outfielders who can't hit. So you guys can connect the dots on that one. But I
think Laviolette makes a lot of sense here. I'm going to go Devin.
I'm
going to go Devin Taylor. They have a lot of money to play with. I think Devin Taylor's like kind of in DH territory / left field territory, which doesn't 100% match kind of how they've drafted outfielders in the past. And I'm almost rethinking this, but now I'm going Devin Taylor. I think it makes enough sense.
I like that pick.
Still some hit tool questions. So he kind of fits the maybe fourth outfielder who can't hit sort of profile that they love. Anyways, we are going on to Milwaukee. I don't have anything from Milwaukee. It is 90 minutes from Chicago, and it is one of the more underrated cities from what I've heard on the Travel Channel. Drew, this is where you start to eat in this part of the draft.
Yeah.
I think you get to go for Milwaukee.
Yeah, I get 8 of the next 9 picks. So sorry to all of you at home.
That was poor planning on my part.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I liked what you guys had to say, and you guys also set me up really interestingly with the sport. So I'm gonna cook a little bit here. We know that the Brewers like to go under slot early. I think that's the key thing for me here is under slot early. Prep or college, it doesn't really matter, but bat to ball, critical. At this point in the draft, I'm really concerned about the slide for a certain prepster. So I think I'm going to let that one slide. I believe I'm going to go here with Brendan Summerhill. Because he's got Brewer written all over him, as Rhys alluded to. The hit tool is there. And I think that as Rhys said, if we're down on Bremner, I think as a pod, we're also down on Summerhill. If I don't want to read the room incorrectly. Okay, it seems like y'all are nodding. So, yes, we'll go with Summerhill there for the choice.
Okay. We are going that is who I think should go there. He is like the he probably has like Brewers tattooed on his like body. Because it seems like that's his floor, and I honestly that should be his ceiling. Okay. Drew, you said you get 8 of the 9 next picks.
Yeah.
Going from one team that switched from the American League to the National League, we're going from one team that switched the National League to the American League. The Houston Astros, who may have been involved in some sort of scandal. That's not what we're here to talk about, though.
No. Keep your trash cans at home because this pick is anything but. I think that Kason Cunningham has slid way too far, and I think that if the Texan can stay in Texas, let's build him up. Let's get them a nice guy to go up the middle with Jeremy Pena ? Again, strong lean college here, but I think that they are going to want a high floor guy. Again, he's using what Ellingson has produced for us. Take their big swings later. Safety at this point looks like the prepster, and I can't believe he's fallen. Give me Cunningham, please, sir.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Nate, but that's a pretty nice falling landing spot for him.
I'm pretty down on Cunningham. I think I'm lower than almost anyone else on him after seeing him at the combine. But I think him in that 15 to 22 range makes a lot of sense. I think there are a lot of teams in there that could go his way. Like I wouldn't be surprised at all if like Tampa Bay at 14. I just don't see it in the top 10. But I think that's a great landing spot.
I think so too.
All right, Drew, you ready for your next pick?
Yeah. I'm trying to go quick, so I'm not just talking.
The Atlanta Braves.
Yes. Okay. So we realize that it's going to be a pitcher. This is going to be a pitcher, and that's fine. Nate alluded to him earlier, and I think that smart money says it's Gage Wood. So we're going to go Gage Wood here. I really would be interested to see how the Braves of all orgs can develop a second pitch for him. The fastball really carries the profile, but I mean, it is a 7 at kind of flat fastball. I love Gage Wood's fastball.
Drew loves Wood. That's
Say it again. Say it again.
I was gonna say something really about. I'll save it for later. That's for on deck after dark. Okay, but we're gonna go. I get to no, actually the Royals. That's
me again. That's me again. You're sandwiched in the middle of Drew here. So lucky place. You normally have to pay. You normally have to pay double for that. So.
Yeah, you normally see at a hotel room for that sort of situation. What's it called? I thought so just speaking on Wood really quickly, I thought that's where you were going to go with the Brewers, if I'm going to be honest.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he seems like the sort of pitcher that the Brewers are going to take. Although they'll draft like the second and third round version of that, and then turn him into.
Yeah. Well said. This is a quick, easy pick. Give me this year's version of Jack Caggs, big power. Hit tool questions, Laviolette to Kansas City. Pretty automatic choice in my opinion. Like, I think that's something that Royals fans would probably try to trick themselves into thinking it's not awesome. That's a really good spot for him too.
It's a really realistic landing spot too. I don't think people understand how realistic that is Laviolette being in the 20s.
I love this draft so far. Guys, I don't mean to pat us on the back, but this is a great draft.
I like that we're just kind of going fast and loose. I'm not really thinking too much. Shout out to Max. Max put in all the work for this draft. We should have had
Facts.
Okay. Now this is where it gets interesting. I pick for Detroit. I get to wear my Homer hat. I get to enjoy the best pizza in the country. It's Detroit style pizza. And if you disagree, you can go. You can tweet at Torts Illustrated. Okay, so where do I go? They like to go prepsters, and there's a few. Obviously, this is the part of the draft where I think the Tigers are probably like salivating at. Do I go shortstop or do I go outfielder? I'm going to go outfielder here. I really like him the more I've dug into him. Slater DeBrun. He's an amazing athlete. He makes good contact. Is the power going to be anything super crazy? Probably not. It's kind of they really like good approach, left-handed hitters. We're going to go with Slater DeBrun.
I think that makes the most sense of anyone there. I think I love that. I think him or Nyans right there just makes
just stay somewhere in the Pacific Northwest and just sort of rock and roll. Okay, Drew, you get to go to the best city in the country, San Diego, with the best city connect that we're not going to see after this season. Drew, where are the San Diego Padres going? What future superstar are they drafting here?
Well, we know it's going to be a prepster for sure. That much we know for certain. And you just alluded to him. Let's stop. Let's get him drafted. Let's get Xavier Nyans to the Pods. We know it's going to be a prepster. I feel like this might have to be. I'm curious about the slot. Probably full slot here, but I'm not entirely sure. That's neither here nor there. Xavier Nines is going to be the choice.
I can't wait to see what team he's on in 2 years.
Me too. I'm gonna make a prediction on what team is rebuilding right now. The Marlins. They like to trade a lot with each other. Okay, Drew, your favorite team, the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
get to drink raw milk with Bryce Harper.
Sure, I'd enjoy that probably. Just so long as we talk about baseball and nothing else. Okay. Let's see. Rhys, you doing okay?
Yeah,
I like
I'm
that.
doing fine. I'm
like
doing
that.
fine. I don't know why raw milk was the first thing that came up with Bryce Harper.
I don't either, but I liked the giggle. I thought that was funny. Okay. Bills. They okay. I'm stuck between a lot of different places here with the Phillies. I've seen a lot of different weird stuff going on at this pick, different places saying different things. Oh boy. And I'm gonna obviously rack my brain here trying to do right by my team. Okay. All right, we're gonna go prep. We're gonna go Daniel Pierce. I feel like that's position prep. It shows upside. I think that he's balanced enough with what he can do to benefit the club going forward. We're gonna go Pierce. I feel pretty good about that. I'd be happy with that.
I like it. All right, Cleveland. Who is the Guardians? Oh, that's Drew.
That's me. That is Drew. Okay, so again, just referencing Alex's edge. Hitters, good hit tool, good pop. Position players specifically, doesn't really matter prep or college. I think I'm stuck between two, and I'm not going to go a middle infielder, so I'm going to go with Ethan Conrad here. I do think that the injury kind of muddied up the water for him, but I think that this is something where the Guardians swoop in and feel really good about a guy that was probably in the top 10 mix early in the college season. So I like that pick.
All right, Drew again with a
Almost there, bud.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, wait, that's the end of the first round, by the way. The first round is now over.
All right, so 28 promotion, the promotion incentive pick. Okay. Looking for a toolsy. Okay. I don't think either of you are particularly big on this guy, but he just bleeds Kansas City to me. Cruz Schoolcraft is where we're going to go here. I think that that's a really Royals pick. It's a lot of tools with a lot of question marks associated with it. And he's doing some cool stuff on Twitter right now. I'm not going to elaborate on that. Y'all just go look it up. So,
big lefty.
Big lefty.
Big lefty. That's all I got to say. Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm going down to Arizona, and they love to go underslot to save money for later. So that makes me think that I'm going to have to be going with a college hitter. Their system is full of outfielders. So I think I'm going to have to stay with that. Who's fallen in this draft? I don't know, but I really like this guy. I think a little bit more than most. I like Mason Neville. I think he just screams. He also played in a ballpark that we'll see in the Northwest League for a long time, for as long as that league still exists. Mason Neville of Oregon. You are an Arizona Diamondback. I feel like it's a little bit off the board for them, but I don't know. What do you guys think about Mason Neville as a Diamondback?
Save some money there.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's what I was thinking as well.
I like that pick. I think it's solid.
All right, Nate, back-to-back picks.
I'm having such a hard time with Baltimore. I don't think the Devin Taylor pick is my favorite. I think it's my least favorite pick I've made. And I don't think I like any of these picks either because I just hate how they draft. So I'm going to go with what I want to do. My best available player is Josh Hammond. I think he's slid far too far. I'm going to take Josh Hammond, and then I'm going to follow that up with a slightly more fun pick, and I'm going to go Patrick Forbes out of Louisville.
Oh, I love Forbes so much.
Him and Root are right up there for me. I think you can't go wrong with either of those guys. I think if Baltimore walked away with one good college pitcher out of their 3 first-ish round picks, that's a win. So that's where I'm going.
Okay, and then to Drew for Milwaukee, unless Drew has thoughts on the Baltimore Orioles picks.
No, I like those, and I think that it's very realistic. Let's see, Hammond and then Forbes. I'm trying to update my board as we're going. Forget.
Oh, I don't have anything for a board, so there's a good chance that I pick someone that's drafted. I'm just sort of flying fast and loose here.
We'll keep you in check then, my buddy. Okay. bat to ball guys. Milwaukee. Let's see. Who did I take? That's fine. Never mind. Okay. I think here I want to go. I'm stuck between a couple of guys because I want to go off their plan and give them a different kind of vibe of player, but we're gonna go with Charles Davalon. Actually, I think that again, incredibly Brewers pick. Really bat to ball oriented guy. Interesting enough, could be your classic leadoff type. I feel solid about that.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I believe it's Boston next. Yeah, Boston with the pick that they got from Milwaukee. Milwaukee could have had back picks here. I'm gonna go with Gavin Killian. I think that he kind of saves me some money for the prep shortstop I picked in the beginning. And he's just bat to ball guy. He should not be playing shortstop. That's for dang sure. But Gavin Killian, you are a Boston Red Sox. Now on to Detroit with a second pick. That is me. This is going to be an interesting pick because I don't know where I want to go. I would like for them to go with a pitcher, but I don't feel like they're really that in on the college pitching class. I could be totally wrong. They might surprise me. We also know that they might want to save, that they have they might have a little bit of money to spend. I'm going to go a little bit off the board. And this is something that I would really like if they did. I don't think any college player helped himself more in the combine than Brandon Compton. I think Brandon Compton adding some power, some athleticism to that organization, and it's kind of on a heat check right now. I think Brandon Compton would be a really fun pick with the Tigers.
I love that pick.
I do too.
I think that this is the range for him for sure.
Mm-hmm. Nate, we are going to you with the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, I think after going Liam Doyle in the first, I think they go back to the prep ranks. They really like their kind of prep shortstops. And as we saw with kind of Ty Pete, the shortstop outfield combo, I'm going to go Sean Gamble here.
It's a worthwhile gamble. Jokes just write themselves, ladies and gentlemen.
Minnesota is myself, I believe.
Yes, Minnesota is.
So,
yes,
first time through, I went Caden Bodine, I believe, the best pick in the draft. I think I go to the pitching side of things here, and I think the root fall ends here.
I think so. I like that.
I think that one makes sense in my head.
I agree. A lot of the funk, and I mean, I think that all they'll do is just class up his pitches while letting him keep a lot of his funkiness that made him effective. I really like that a lot.
I'm heading back to Tampa Bay now. I went Fiend, who probably saved them a little bit of money, for being honest, at 14. And now I'm thinking about what kind of swing I can take. If I'm being honest, I think this might be the Luke Stevenson spot. I'm not the highest on him, but I think him to the Rays feels like a fun combo.
I like that.
I don't hate their catcher Dev.
Saves you some money as well.
Because the Rays want to save some money and do weird stuff later. I think that's a fun one right there.
They're gonna draft some weird kid from like middle of Saskatchewan. And they're gonna like the 13th round. They're gonna use that money to save on him. So yeah.
You mean Tim Piacentine?
Yeah, I was about to say Piacentine is who you mean.
Dude, I have no idea. I just picked a random. I was just like, my brain was moving. I was like, what territory? No, not territory. Province of Canada could I name? Okay, we need to keep this moving. The New York Metropolitans. That is to Drew.
Yes. So I will take good care of the Mets. But for real. We know they want to go position players. There's a lot of interesting opportunity that we could take here, but I think that we're going to go with the college bat, and I'm stuck between two. Let's do Cam Cannarella. I think that's just kind of an interesting tools gamble. If Cannarella plays best under the lights, name bigger lights than New York City. So I don't know, big game Cam to New York City. I like it.
Okay, now we are on to the Dodgers, who are on their first selection, and that is
you're on the Yankees, sir.
Yankees. Oh, I don't know. My parents sent me to a public school. Shout out to the public education system. Okay, the New York Yankees. They like to draft players that I normally am not high on in the beginning. Last year, they felt like they drafted like 6 straight pitchers, which I think they did. There's some interesting pitchers at this spot. Patrick Forbes would have been such a freaking good Yankee. he would have done some crazy stuff for that organization. And now I can't go there because he was selected. I'm gonna go with some. I keep seeing it mocked. I feel like it's I feel like it's not as fun, but not as fun. Not for him. I think it'd be awesome for this guy, but it's not as fun because I feel like this is a consistently mocked player. The Yankees love to dip into the SEC, and we're gonna go with Anthony Ianson, national champion Anthony Ianson. Shout out to him.
I think it's a really good fit.
I love that.
I do as well. All right, now we are on to the World Series winning Dodgers.
Dodgers for 2. I'm gonna go first pick here, Jack Bauer. Really power lefty pitcher. I think that makes a lot of sense for the Dodgers, and then they have to save some money with this next pick because they have so little money to work with. I would love to see a guy like Quentin Young in the Dodgers. I don't think it makes sense. I'm gonna go Corbin Dickerson here. I think he saves them a bunch of money right here, and he's got fun tools without a lot of refinement. I think the Dodgers are the place you go to refine those.
Okay.
I like that quite a bit. 2 Big Ten guys.
It's very early for Dickerson, in my opinion.
It is early. It is,
but
early,
I think you save some money. I think you save a lot of money. Tampa Bay. I'm up again. Tampa Bay for their 3rd pick. I went Fiend and Luke Stevenson before this.
You're cooking.
And I'm thinking that they probably go to the pitcher market at this point, and they've saved a little bit of money. What if we go Cameron Appenzeller now and get my highest pitcher left on the board? I think that worked out very cute for me. And now we're Miami. I don't remember who picked them.
The Marlins is
that's Rhys.
Yes, so they are going to lean prep. They're almost always, so okay. Who did I go in the first round, if you don't mind me asking? Too many names. I don't have time.
You did Willits.
That's right. That was a great pick by me. Okay, so we got the shortstop out of the way because I love them. So do I decide to go? Maybe I save a little bit of money here because then they can play around. I think he's fallen a little bit. I'm gonna go with Max Bellieu of the Texas program. I think that he is just all around. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna stay in Florida. I'm gonna go with a Florida man, Alex Lodis. Is any tool really?
No, you can't. I'm sorry, I clicked it already. It's over.
Oh,
is it Blue? So Blue's the pick.
Blue.
It's just. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay,
that's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. That's my fault. That's my fault.
It's I got trigger fingers. That's
fine. That's fine. We got to move quickly around here.
I am a little upset because when you went Lodis, I was between him and Blue for the White Sox next. So I guess you made my decision for me. Although, I did take a shortstop. I went Parker first round. So I'm a little shy of taking Lodis now.
I don't actually mind. I don't mind the idea of layering 2 of the same position, especially if you go college and prep then college, or I guess whichever way you want to go about it. Then because they're going to start off at different levels. Then
in that case, let's go Alex Lodis here. Then, please, Nate. I think that again, Golden Spikes finalist, outstanding bat. A lot of kind of question marks to me as to why he's in this spot. It's got to be some questions here, but I think that he's very talented. I'm excited to see him and his development going forward. So, and then I believe that's me for Colorado, right?
Yeah. My question with Lodis is, what is the like? It's a grab bag of 5s, right? Like I don't think yeah. And he just only recently started hitting for power, and college shortstop is a demographic that I'm not super crazy on. So that would be the reason that I think that he's fallen this far. But like, if he's your second pick, you're doing pretty all right. So it's a pretty high probability of a major leaguer.
I agree with you, and I think that's I like that, Rhys. I think you said that well as well.
True. Yeah, you are going on to the Colorado Rockies.
Yes. Okay. We know they like to go college, and I think we're going to keep their Tennessee to Colorado streak going. Let's get Dean Curley. Certainly defensive questions. It's been well documented, but that guy can hit, and he hits for power and decently for average. That's really overshadowed. But Curley in Colorado, thumbs up from Drew.
That is a good pick. Now it is on to me for the Marlins. I wish Lodis would have fallen a little bit more. Okay, so now that I've gotten them, they've saved a little bit of money. Let's go with
Willits and Bellieu.
Yeah, Willits and Bellieu. I'm going with Quentin Young. I think this is the big swing. He's massive, built like a tight end. I think that, is he gonna hit? There's some serious questions about if he's gonna hit, but I think this is the sort of upside gamble they should be taking when they have 3 picks in the first, 50? So yeah, I think Quentin Young you are a Miami Marlin. We are on to the Los Angeles Angels, which I believe is is me. Yeah. Los Angeles Angels. Okay, so let me look at the college. Because they're going to get a guy up pretty quickly. This is not great. I don't really like this spot because there's a lot of prepsters that I would really like to push through here, but I don't think any of them are going to be there are on their board. What do they love more than a famous guy? Ethan Petrie, you are a Los Angeles Angel.
I think that one makes a lot of sense.
They love the most famous buzzy guy that they can pick. And now I get to take off all that hair gel. Sorry, Perry, if you're listening to this.
So the Athletics went Andrew Fisher in the first round, saving them a bunch of money. So now I'm trying to figure out which prepster I like here in an overpay situation. I don't know if there's like a slam dunk prep guy here. Does anyone have a favorite on the board, or else I'm going to go Tate Southseen?
I think that's a good choice.
I think that's the overslot option.
He looked good. He looked good at the combine. I think he's a draft guy, and I think this is around the spot where you start looking at him, and I think he'll command a little bit of money. So let's go to Tate there. And now the Nationals are on the clock, which is also me. And reminding our viewers, we did go Ethan Holiday with the first pick there. So now I'm thinking about going to the college ranks, and I'm a rally quick guy. For sure. I feel like this is almost late for him at 49. I don't know. I might like him a little bit early, but so I'm going to go rally quick there to the Nationals. And now we're on to the Pirates.
The Pittsburgh Pirates, and that is me. If you don't mind, who did I go with? I think I picked a shortstop for them. Seth Hernandez. Okay, so I need to save some money because he's going to cost a little bit. That is such a. This is the part of the draft. I'm going to go with they went righty in the first round. They're going lefty in the second round. Cade Obermueller. I think that he kind of fits the sort of stuff that they can.
Such a pirate.
He is such a pirate. He already wears black and yellow, so it's already perfect.
Black and yellow.
Okay.
If they go position player in the first, like if they go Carlson, you can put Obermueller's card in for them in the second round already.
Yeah, someone's gonna have to pick their pocket because he's such a good and they also love to dip into the Big Ten, by the way. They do dip into there more often than you would think.
I'm going to go for the Reds, and then after this pick, we're going to take a quick break. The three of us have a little thing that we need to do, but we'll be right back. But for the last pick in the first portion before halftime of this draft, for the Cincinnati Reds, who did I go with? Ike Irish. Oh, I like that pick.
I like that pick a lot more, I think.
Ooh, I like that pick.
I would hope you would like your own picks.
Oh, yeah. Who's my favorite guy on the board right now? I'm trying to think. Maybe, what's our Ellingson's edge on Cincinnati?
So they're going to lean college
by prep. Okay, so this is where
they're going to go. They're going to go prep here.
They're going prep here for sure. This is the Tyson Lewis pick. I don't know if I see Tyson Lewis on the board.
I see a lot of talent.
Can I interest you in Brady Evil?
I think that makes a lot of sense, but I'm looking more at a pitcher here, my friend.
Who do you like here?
I think that you're looking at Cervantes. I think that Fisher makes sense here. I think that you could save money and almost buck the trend with JD Middleton and make something really interesting happen here for Cincinnati. There's a lot of options.
I also like Becker. He doesn't have the crazy tools that some of their other second rounders have had, but I think Becker is just perfectly fine.
I think I like Matthew Fisher here. He's the highest guy on my board compared to a lot of these guys. I think that is I prefer him to Cervantes just a little bit.
Sure.
And I like the pitcher. I like the pitcher idea here. Let's go Matthew Fisher, and we will see you guys right after this quick little break.
I used to be brash, I used to be bold, lived off rhythm and road, I burned every bridge.
And welcome back, everyone. We are actually going to cut the draft there due to some technical and time difficulties, but I think you got 52 picks out of us, which is a pretty good mock draft size. And you can join us on our draft stream to get analysis on hundreds of picks on Sunday and Monday. You'll see all of our faces on that stream. So start looking forward to that and join us for the live stream. It'll be on YouTube, X, and pretty much anywhere you can live stream anything. So come join the fellas for the MLB draft. But moving right into our next segment, we're kind of winding down the show now. I'm going to kick it right over to Rhys for Prospects Live news. I heard you got in some trouble, Rhys.
Oh yeah, because of my court mandated what's going on at Prospects Live. While I was gone, some minor burglary. I can't talk about it, but what part of the agreement was that I have to tell what's going on at Prospects Live. So we've had a lot go on since I've last recorded. It's been 10 days since I've recorded. Max Ellingson is pumping out content. He might be coming for my title as the guy with the most posts on Prospects Live. Let's be real. He's definitely produced more than I have. Max Ellingson, his draft previews is coming along quickly. He's pumping them out on the weekends. Shout out to him. Jake has continued his MLB draft conference preview. Most recent one was the West Coast and the WAC and the Big West. And for those that don't know, I thought the Big West was like a really cool like athleisure logo. I was like, man, some of these people run really cool logos at this baseball event. I really would like to get something like that. We have the daily sheets going on. Kyle and the Dynasty pickup guys. Taylor are continuing on with their weekend pickups. The Sunday Smoke series with Doc has been going fantastic. And we have the draft stream going on. Greg produced his Open Universe Top 150 update, and as far as I know, that's all that's going on. I'm going to have a big DSL weekly rundown. I'm actually just going to call it the DSL monthly rundown because I'm just going to go through what's happened so far in the month that is the DSL and kind of tackle those. And like I said, the daily sheets for the price of like 3/4 of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, you can get a whole month of fantastic content at Prospects Live. Now, time for everybody's favorite segment. Nate, what's on your mind?
First of all, we need to come up with something different than just cups of coffee. Maybe that's our new bit. What else is $5 out there, guys?
You could have one whole month of Prospects Live, or you can get a bargain bin DVD at Walmart.
I don't even know if they have those. I don't even know what that is.
I think they give those to you, Drew. At this point, for $5, you could have 2 Snickers bars. That with the way our current economy is going, you can get 2 energy. You can't even get 2 energy drinks for that price.
Oh no, you can get one energy.
Large fries and a drink. Large fries and a drink at McDonald's.
What? I want to know where you. I want to move to Tennessee. Your McDonald's prices are pretty cheap.
Cheap?
As I saw on a sign, Five Guys is the best value proposition in all of fast food, and it costs you like $30 to take yourself there, and then if you want to take up with someone else there, it's going to cost you you have to fill out a second mortgage.
Coming back in here, fellas, I just want to highlight something that Rhys said as he puts his mic on. Sorry, the production guy.
You know what? Like this mic is not easy to get on. Okay, like it does take a little bit.
No, I'm leaving this in. I just want to highlight the DSL, the rundowns you do. It's like that is like one of my most fun reads at Prospects Live. It just in the coverage that like I don't know, Rhys. I almost want to get inside your mind. I'm sidetracking us from what's on your mind here, but just these guys that so few of them, in keeping up with who might be the one that pops next is like that's where you get the Jesus Mates and Luis Peñas, right? Like you get so many of these guys from there, and it's so rarely covered, I feel like, in baseball media. I don't know. As the
face of baseball media, some might say, it is my job to pay attention and watch very terrible YouTube streams and figure out if this guy's uniform is 3 sizes too big, and if he's wearing the right size cleats. Because some of these guys, let me tell you, they're 16, 17, 18 years old. So physical maturation is going to be happening soon. So it's about projecting that, and I think it's a really fun exercise that I do because it allows me, as the director of pro scouting, it's my job to keep an eye on everything going on in the minor leagues. Everything that's pro ball, so I get a chance to see them from the point in which they start their minor league journey all the way up into when they graduate, and then they're dead to me once they graduate. No, I'm just kidding. They're not dead to me, but they might as well be sometimes. So yeah, I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things that I do. It is a labor of love.
It's hard. It's definitely hard, but I think it's one of the coolest offerings that we have, and I think that's where like the baseball fans who subscribe to Prospects Live get that edge or whatnot for $5. But what's on your mind? I'm gonna go to Drew first here because I'm doing the draft this episode. And I feel like we end with draft. So Drew, what's on your mind?
Mine is awful. So I told you guys before we started that I've been cleaning the house all day. I woke up and kind of laid around in bed, just relaxing, and then got up and started cleaning. I cleaned for 7 hours today at least. Now, what does that entail? Deep cleaning both of the bathrooms in my house. A lot of laundry. Did some sweeping. Did some like the cleaning the tubs and showers, and just all sorts of things, like just deep cleaning. And so I did not want to talk about this. I just want to preface this. It's on my mind because I did it. Rhys apparently is really interested in the concept of grilling me about cleaning. So Rhys, I'm going to turn the floor over to you, sir.
I'm not interested in grilling you. I just want to know what people use. You know, I like to mop the floors with like, I don't know. Sometimes if I don't really have anything, most of the time I don't. I like to use like a little splash of apple cider vinegar, maybe some like essential oils, you know, make the house smell nice while you're cleaning it and disinfecting it. I also, you know, I just want to know what you use. Do you use a Roomba? I have a Roomba and she's my worst enemy. Rosie is the worst. She's like, you know, what is the Michael Scott thing? If I was in a room with Osama bin Laden, anyways, you get the point. Rosie would be that.
So what you're saying is if you were in a room with Osama bin Laden and Rosie the Roomba and you had 2 bullets in your gun, you'd shoot Rosie twice.
Rosie twice. Rosie is the bane of my existence. I don't know why I talk about her like she's a person. She's not. She's a robot, and she's an incompetent robot at that.
Yeah. Shout out Rosie, okay?
No, don't shout out Rosie.
No, I'm already doing it. Shout out Rosie the Roomba. Okay. So I'm gonna answer your question with a quote from Charlie Kelly from Always Sunny. I know how to mix my own inhalants, Rhys. So I use let's talk about cleaning the showers. Today, I used some Clorox bleach, and then on top of it, a Lysol cleaning liquid of some sort. I don't know what its base is. So I might have been just making like bathtub drugs today, but man, I'm just mixing. Man, call me Snape, because call me Severus Snape, because I'm just mixing potions here at the house today. But now the bathtub's looking good. So I don't know what kind of serum I created, but bathtub's looking good. You mentioned Fabuloso. It's a solid cleaning product. My wife, though, dear sweet Mallory, she will likely be listening to this sometime later this week. She likes to mop the floors with I think call it, 2 parts bleach to 1 part water. And just, that's what we mop with, boys. It's just super, we're going hospital level sterile here. So,
well, Greg is going to walk into a very clean house. The smell might bother him with the bleach. The bleach is. I don't want Mallory to dislike me. I think if we had to do a power ranking,
it's too.
She likes me.
I don't know. I was going to say it's
bad takes.
You do have bad takes. Let's be real. Bad takes as well.
So, no, I don't think that that's hilarious.
Mallory hates my thoughts on Luis Pena. She disagrees.
Mallory's big Luis. She's big on Luis Pena, but we talk about this a lot, and I feel like we bring up my wife and kind of her thoughts on you guys and her takes. So the other day on the 4th of July, there was a Twitter. Never mind. I'm never going to be able to find it now in our text. So. Somebody was like, 101 years ago today, the Caesar salad was invented. And Mallory sent me this on Twitter and just said somewhere Nate is celebrating. And I was just like, yeah, he is. So send that to you guys. And I was like, my wife, this is awesome. But no, she likes you guys. Thinks that your takes are sometimes quite odd. But now I'm not so naive to think that either of your families are like, that Drew guy has just great takes constantly, or man, he's always funny. Like it's impossible. It's literally impossible. So I don't know.
I think my mom aligns with you on everything. It's becoming a problem in this household. I do want to highlight something though, that I love that you and Mallory like divvy up the chores and you get put on bathroom duty. I think it's the right
bathroom
move.
Bathroom duty is the worst. I hate cleaning the bathroom so much. My least favorite.
Mal does this fun thing with baby powder.
Where Drew does all the chores. No, I'm just kidding.
Mallory does this fun thing where she sits on the couch and watches reruns and Drew. No, it's not that. Mallory's very liberal with baby powder. So part of cleaning her bathroom is removing. I mean, it looks like a Colombian drug lord's house. Like whenever you get to like deep cleaning, it's just powder on powder on powder, bro.
I'm gonna ask a question. Does she have her own bathroom? Because you said Mallory's bathroom. Like,
okay, so
Does she have her own bathroom to go do her makeup?
Yeah,
and stuff?
Okay. We have a full bathroom that's like in the public part of the house, I guess. Like if you guys were here and you're like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom, typically you'd go to Mallory's bathroom, which is the one at the end of the hallway. Because it's the public bathroom, it has to stay clean, obviously, for guests and things. And Mallory's a very clean person naturally. And then the bathroom off the master suite, the master bathroom, is Drew's bathroom. So like it can be a little more messy, I guess, theoretically. But man, today it got the deep clean as well. But yes, Mallory's bathroom has it's the Colombian drug lord bathroom with all the baby powder, if you go at the right time of day. And Mallory's really good about doing chores. She likes to clean floors, so she does a lot of the mopping and sweeping and vacuuming. We have a long-standing joke where I've said that's a useless chore. She's like, explain. And I was like, okay, you're not eating off the floor. You're going to walk on it. With every second after you do that chore, you are just wasting your time. You are like, it's an exercise in futility. Now, I know for a fact it is necessary. It's necessary to clean the floor because it's a part of your house. You got to clean every part of your house at some point during the calendar year. But I think I would be much more lenient on someone's floors. Like if there's a dust bunny in the corner of your floor, if I come to the Rasmussen home, Mama Rasmussen, first of all, would never let that happen. I know for a fact she'd have that place spick and span, spotless to a T.
She'd have Nate paint the floor again.
They would repaint the floor at the cabin. I'm not even at the cabin anyway. But the fact is that I'm so lenient on that. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm trying to think of a cleaning thing. Okay, like if I go in Nate's bathroom and he's got the baby powder, like it's Colombian drug lord style in Nate's bathroom, I'm not gonna judge him, but I am gonna make a joke. But if like there's a dust bunny on the living room floor, that's the furthest thing from my mind.
There's a hierarchy of cleaning needs in a household or whatnot, and the bathroom should remain decently clean. But if I go into a bathroom, there's a little toothpaste on the mirror, I'm not throwing hands. You know whatnot. I don't think the floor. I don't think the floor matters. The sink. I think the sink sneakily matters. I think having a nice kitchen setup. I think that puts everyone at ease or whatnot. I think, and I
part of the home. So
I lived in a studio in college, and I'll be heading back there in August. And anytime I would have guests over in the small studio, would be like, let's clean the sink, let's make sure the bathroom's okay.
Well, the sink and the bathroom and the kitchen table are the same thing. All the studio apartment. It's all the same place.
I shower in the sink. Put some clothes on the floor in the closet. I can survive that.
That's
fine. You're going. That's totally fine. See, I'm the exact opposite. I think the floors need to be clean. I don't want to go in somewhere like my socks get dirty or something like that. This is not my thing.
Okay. I'm a shoes on guy.
I'm a shoes on guy, but I've grown up and been around people where culturally it's not. Wear shoes inside the house.
Okay. If you guys were gonna come over, let's say that like, hey, I bought you guys flights and we're gonna watch the World Series at Drew's. And y'all are just coming over the house. Rhys, you would wear your shoes at all times?
I would wear my shoes unless told otherwise. I mean, no, because I think your house would be clean. I would take my shoes off, but I would ask. I think the most important thing to do is ask, is this a shoes on household or is this, I mean, I'll ask, like I said, I scout out functions for the food.
Yes.
I need to scout out whether it's a shoes on house or a shoes off house.
So I don't really 70 grade function. You look at what the person's wearing. If the host is wearing shoes, you keep yours on. If they're not, you look for the pile of shoes by the door.
See, I'm always so loosey-goosey with that too. Like when we have a group of people here at the house, I'm probably not wearing shoes just because I'm at my house. Unless I'm like going out to the grill or I'm doing stuff like we're doing stuff outside. But like if Rhys, if you were here and you were just like, you had your shoes on, but you were the only one. Like I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't be. I'd hate to be the only person because then it's like I don't want people to think I'm like trying to break the rules or something like that. I'm a big like rule follower in someone else's home. Someone's made the effort to invite you into their home. Obviously, they're cleaning it. They're using 2 parts bleach to 1 part water. That can't be good. That can't be good for your nostrils. I'm just joking. Drew's wife. I'm so sorry. I just had to make the comment.
No, it's okay.
No. What's it called? I'm gonna be respectful and I'm gonna follow what everyone else does. But I always like to know: is this a shoes on household or a shoes off household? I don't judge either way.
No, it's same.
There's there's been shoes on households that I've been where it's cleaner than the shoes off household, like the floor. So
sure.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
I just want to say that if episode 25 we're having a special guest, I don't think we talked about that. Episode 100 we're having 3 special guests.
No, we're having we're having Danielle, but that's going to be crazy.
Yeah,
I cannot wait when we put the 3 in front of the camera.
Yes, the episode 100 is going to be an absolute disaster piece and what we need to do is we need to set the topics that they have to discuss without knowledge of how to discuss them.
We're less than a year away from that if we're going on our current schedule.
That's going to be amazing.
Job.
I'll say this. We talked about episode 25 will probably have the most notorious anticipated guest that we've built to. The probably the 4th most mentioned character beyond the 3 of us on deck.
We'll talk.
We'll talk. Anyway, that's okay. Do you have any more questions about cleaning, Rhys? My least favorite chore is probably the floors, like I said, but like I enjoy doing laundry. Like you just throw it in and then I like to like fold it as I'm watching television. Doing the dishes doesn't bother me. I make it into a competition. Bathrooms suck. Bathrooms just take forever. But
bathrooms are the worst. I think bathrooms are objectively the worst chore. I can't stand it. Not to throw Danielle under the bus because she's fantastic, but she wants like the bottom of the floor because we have a shower tub hybrid. She wants that like scrub with like magic eraser, and I'm like, I don't feel like getting an arm workout in today. So that tends to be where she does. I love laundry. Laundry is one of my favorite things. I'm very like, I don't know if I've ever said this on a podcast. I'm very crazy about what goes into a washer and dryer. Most of my clothes do not go in the dryer. Dryer it eats and destroys your clothes. You should not be putting your clothes in there. I hang dry a lot of my stuff, my underwear. The underwear that I care about, I have, I don't know if you guys do this or not. Maybe this is getting
your A pairs and B pairs.
A pair and B pair. I have A pair and B pair socks. Yeah, my Lululemon underwear is not touching the dryer. Like if it touches the dryer, I might explode. If you have to pay more than $1 per pair for the underwear, because you can go to Marshalls, Ross, whatever, and get a really good sale on underwear at any given point. If it's cost more than that, about like $2 to $3 for a pair of underwear, then it's not touching the dryer. But my socks go in the dryer. I would like them not to, but I don't have the space for it. None of my shirts touch the dryer. But yeah, I don't know if you guys are as crazy about laundry as I am. Also, I wash everything on delicates. And I wash everything in cold water.
Interesting. Towels and hot water for sure.
Yeah, towels. I'm talking about clothing.
Clothing.
I wash bedding in hot water because you need to clean it and stuff.
I'm with you, and I also hang dry all of my shirts as well, Rhys. So
yeah, I'm glad. Another thing, speaking of bedding, I don't eat in bed. That's not my thing. I don't understand it. I'm very anti eating in bed. I don't know where you guys stand on that.
Depends what it is.
Yeah, I'm with Nate.
Well, Nate eats a lot of food that's like very like plain, monochromatic. So there's not a lot of liquid, so it's fine to eat in bed.
It's like all gray and brown.
it's protein powder and grit.
During the gas station draft, gruel. When Rhys said he was going to draft gruel during the gas station draft, I don't know that I think the only time on the show that I've ever laughed harder is when Rhys noticed the framed photo of Rhys when you were in Arizona. That's probably the hardest I've laughed in the last 2 years.
We're gonna have a funniest on deck moments compilation someday.
Oh yeah.
The 10 people out there who are all members of the Prospects Live staff are gonna love it.
They're gonna love
it. Shout out Mitch, shout out Kyle, shout out
Adam,
Greg,
Adam, Slaughter. Y'all are the real MVPs. All right. Enough about cleaning. Rhys, what's on your mind?
All right. I was on vacation for 10 days. And if you Yeah, I know, right? I've gone for too long. Actually, not gone for long enough. I'm going to read what I ate, and I'll give you guys my thoughts. I think I've said this on before. I rate everything on the 20 to 80 scale. I think this is a great scale for defining how you to eat. It's a great scale. I use it all the time for Prospects Live. Some might say I don't know what I'm doing with it. I would tend to agree. I'm going to start off. I ate a lot. I ate out a lot. I went to a coffee shop called Wingspan. It was good. Fine cortado. Used dark roast beans. I like that. Next, I'm going to pizza. Probably the best thing I ate in this entire trip. It's called Brickery. It's a brick oven pizza place. It's called Barina Pizza, arugula, salami. If you guys want to stop me at any point, let me know. Salami, sausage, balsamic vinegar, mozzarella, Parmesan cheese, but no sauce. thought that was an interesting choice, but I like the balsamic glaze on top. Danielle got a pesto pizza. I thought it was vegan. It wasn't. Pesto has cheese in it, in case you didn't know. I ate at a Buddhist temple. That was very good. Really good noodle soup, beef, 50 OFP. Shrine coffee. I ate coffee. What kind of psycho says that? I drank coffee in a church, which was really cool. 55. Had a 4.7 stars on Yelp. Don't understand why it got that high. I wonder what sort of stuff goes on at this coffee shop. Very interesting clientele. 11th hour coffee. I guess I didn't eat lunch that day. Got a lavender latte, not good. Raspberry cream latte, not good. This is really not been as fun as I thought it was going to be. I ate at a hula restaurant. That was good. Went for happy hour. I put great price. Half price appetizers. Got Hawaiian ceviche and chicken wings. Very interesting combo. I got it. You all right there, Nate?
Oh, sorry. We were here. We were here. Sorry.
I lost. Your thing fell.
Oh no, that must have been weird.
Sorry. Weird.
Sorry, no, keep going.
Yeah. Okay. So I ate at a it's called Cat and Cloud Cafe. Serviceable coffee. I gave it a 50. It gets the job done. Is what I wrote. I put loud restaurant. And then I ate at an Italian deli twice. I gave it a 60. For those, you guys, everyone should rate restaurants in the 20 to 80 scale. I think it's a great idea.
So
and that's what's on my mind.
The last place you said you ate there twice. Why twice?
Because it was so good.
What did you get both times?
Awesome.
I got an Italian. Why am I saying Italian meatball? What is there like a
Italian meatball?
Like a Swan meatball sub?
I got a Hispanic meatball sub. It was delicious.
I got a meatball sub one day, and then I got a cold cut combo for the 10-mile hike that I went on, which people will be seeing lots of content from that on the draft stream during the draft. I took a lot of pictures. I took a lot of pictures of animals. That is like my calling card. Is what I'm known for. So much that Nate's trying to steal my bit. Adam's trying to steal my bit. Another thing I wanted to talk about. I took a picture of it because how much I love them. The Trader Joe's Coffee Lovers Espresso Beans is an elite snack. You guys should pick those up if you're into coffee. And that's what's on my mind. I was on vacation. I would recommend it.
You recommend vacation?
I would recommend vacation.
Vacation's like a 70 for sure.
I would hope so. Maybe 80.
Rhys, I have a question piggybacking off of you recommending vacations.
Yeah, vacation.
You're just recommending vacation. So I have a question. Because you are so versed in the world of vacation now, I need you to suggest a vacation for Nate and suggest a vacation for me. Based on what you know about us, you know us very well. What do we need in our lives?
Okay.
This is going to be an attack on me, and I'm prepared.
Man, I didn't even think I was not setting him up to attack you, Nate. I just need to say that in advance. I was trying to be genuine.
No, I'm actually going to be very nice.
The Stew Factory.
Nate's gonna go.
Nate's going to 17th century England to try the gruel.
Nate's going on a gruel tour. It's an haggis and all sorts of weird, different beige color food. He's just gonna have. That's more beige.
Look, dude, that's our first merch. We're gonna need to get a T-shirt with just Nate's face and it's Gruel World Tour 2025.
Oh my god! I was not anticipating that at all. For Nate's mentioned that he likes.
Oh man!
I feel like he has to leave Washington. Although Washington's beautiful. I feel like Nate would have like a great time in like a Montana, Wyoming sort of like small-ish town where like he can just go do his Nate stuff, eating his gruel.
Yeah, what's Nate stuff, huh?
I don't know. You go fishing. I feel like you would.
Yeah, a lot of fishing content lately from Nate.
A lot of fishing content.
I did things this week.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. You didn't eat gruel, all that I know of.
You know, Rhys, I like the idea of like you're saying, like maybe like a Yellowstone National Park for Rhys.
Yeah,
because then you can see all the wildlife. You can do like your wilderness stuff with your hiking. You can fish. You can see things and feel like you're part of that wilderness. You can get your inner cowboy on that way.
Yeah, and then you can go back to your campsite and you can eat your mush. Just be the happiest guy in the world.
Eat my bits and pieces.
Eat your bits and pieces. Eat your protein powder grits, your signature recipe. There's never been a bigger cry for help than when you mentioned that on a podcast willingly. I was thinking about doing a wellness check. And then for Drew, finding a vacation for you is hard because I feel like you're just so easygoing that like I feel like vacation Drew is very similar to regular Drew. I was very easygoing. I wasn't complaining about a lot of stuff. Probably complained less about anything in my entire life, and I love to complain. I like to think I'm a world class complainer. That's what this whole segment is basically. Drew, I don't know if you're a cruise guy, but I feel like you would enjoy a cruise, not like in a negative way. Cruise is not my thing. I don't like being around people.
Yeah, sure.
That much. I feel like you're very social.
Thanks.
I don't know. I feel like you would do well.
Let me put something out there. I would love to see Drew tropical.
Drew tropical.
I feel like
maybe a suit jacket. Who knows? We might see that soon.
Some vacations are like you're there to do things. Some vacations are like I'm there to vacation.
I'm there to vacation,
and I'm gonna hang around or whatever. I feel like Drew would thrive by the pool with just vibes going on.
Like a tropical drink. Virgin Mai Tai, like a nice glass of like milk. Maybe
sunglasses on for sure.
Yeah, like letting the chest hair breathe a little bit. That's that's like vacation Drew.
So there is
Drew on Instagram.
There's a long-standing joke in my family that the best version of Drew is Beach Drew. They are separate people. Perfect. And Beach Drew. Brew has no. Brew is not concerned about nothing other than when are we going to the beach? Do we still have bagels on the counter? And when's my last day here? Y'all want to go eat? Let's do it. Y'all want to go to the pool? Let's do it. Y'all want to stay in and watch some TV? Let's do it. Brew has no concern. Brew is mind off, vibes on. Beach Drew is legitimately a legend. I wish I could be Brew. I wish I could be Brew 24/7. I wish so badly I could.
This is why we need an outdoor podcast.
This is why, we're gonna have the outdoor podcast at some point.
That'd be fun.
A beach day with Drew just sounds like an 80 grade moment. Like I had a fantastic beach day. I got a book. I read. I just sat
What'd you read?
And it's Brian Sanderstrom. I've been into like fantasy books lately, like kind of a nerd.
Yeah.
Brian Sanders. Let me look up I wish I knew the name of it. The Way of Kings or something like that. It's fantastic. It's a lot of words and a lot of pages. Like 1,000 pages. I've been really enjoying that. About 100 pages in. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but I'm very excited about the next book because it's also a long book. And I like a long book. I don't like to sit there and be like, okay, I finished this in like 2 hours. I like to sit there and enjoy. That's why I like fantasy so much, is because you get to escape the hardships of real life, and just I get to sit there on the beach. I had a meatball sub with me. I was hanging out under the umbrella. I had some water. I had some of those espresso coffee beans that I really like. I had a couple chopsticks. Like I was having a great time. I go dip my feet in the water.
Yes.
It was a great time.
What nationality was the sub?
It was an Italian meatball sub.
I just wasn't sure.
It's good to clarify that.
I didn't want anyone to get it mixed up with like a Sri Lankan meatball sub or anything like that.
Good to clarify.
All right, Nate, what's on your mind?
Fellas, I'm taking over the Rhys role. We're drafting dynamic duos. It's the first thing that came to my mind. And I wanted to do a draft that was as open-ended as possible. So this is that. I have no idea where this is going to go. I'm going to let Drew decide the draft order because why not?
Okay. Remind me your birthdays again.
September 14th.
January 22nd.
Okay, we're going Nate, Drew, Rhys.
Okay. For the first pick in the dynamic duos draft, I'm going peanut butter and jelly.
Oh yeah.
It's on my board for sure.
Yeah.
That was my
I think that's a clear one.
Yeah, that was my 1-1 pick. That was my Cooper Flag.
Yeah. I thought that was actually the only clear one, but there's a lot of good ones here.
So I actually have a food duo that I ranked above peanut butter and jelly, but in the interest of saving it, you already know what it is. I mean, and Rhys Rhys
If
could
anything
game.
with milk.
Yeah, Rhys could game the draft by taking it from me, but I know he won't because Rhys is a good guy. So I'm
Yeah.
going to go to a different avenue, and I'm going to take an iconic duo who's. I'm trying to think if there's even words that could like appropriately describe just how much of a duo they are. You don't ever hear anybody talking about just John Oates. You don't ever hear anybody talking about just Daryl Hall, because together, Hall and Oates is one of the most iconic and impressive duos in the history of the world. You make my dreams come true. I can't go for that, no. Private eyes, they're watching you. They see your every move. Right. Hall and come on. Hall and Oates, Twitter's going to love it. Go ahead.
I don't know who that is, but that's okay.
You were talking about making him a playlist, Nate. You were talking about giving him and giving Drew and Greg a playlist. I want to know what's on this playlist. Like I want to hear this playlist before they hear it. I'm very fascinated by what's Nate. And then I can add some of the songs that I listen to on my playlist, and then they can guess which song it is. Although probably pretty easy.
That sounds fun.
I told Drew some of the songs I like on a. I think I've even said it on here.
We haven't got there. I don't think we've gotten to music yet. I'm just gonna put Black by Pearl Jam on repeat for the whole playlist.
Perfect. I love Pearl Jam.
Should be your guys'
I'm just gonna put Future on. That's what I listen to.
It's just gonna be
Massaging Me.
Future, Massaging Me by Future, and then Black by Pearl Jam over and over. Great. I love Pearl Jam though.
I love Pearl Jam too. Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons says Pearl Jam lead into his podcast.
Okay, Nate, I need to suggest you music because Hall and Oates is fabulous. It's not really it's not really your typical vibe, Nate, but I think you could really get into it.
I can get down.
So that takes us to Rhys for 2 picks, I believe.
Okay. We talked about food combos. Mac and cheese, fantastic. You can go any which way you want. You can play around with the noodles shape too. I'm not going to fight you on it. If you want to get a little crazy and have like a little bow tie in there and that was a little bit of pepper jack cheese to your mac and cheese, I'm not going to complain. You can do whatever you want to do. And then I'm going to go with maybe the greatest duo in sports. I'm going to go with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They won 6 rings together. Honestly, you could argue that they were a first-round pick, but mac and cheese sort of trumped that. And that's my duos.
I had Jordan and Pippen on my list. I had another couple of sports above them. But
although they don't like each other now, so that's the problem.
That was number one on my board.
They might not even like. They might not even like each other while they were performing well. If you watch The Last Dance.
Yeah.
How many rounds are we doing, Nate?
4.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to get 1 from each of my 4 categories. Okay. In that case, then I'll go ahead and take sports here just to kind of put a little more pressure on Nate. And I'm going to even stick to basketball because, man, the duo, it's Shaq and Kobe. Like, speaking of hate each other, but, man, that's a dynamic duo if there ever was one. Those guys made each other play better. They're incredible. And they both had that kind of alternate part to their duo in other people, but it was never as good as it was with one another. Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, that's good. It's really good right there.
Thank you.
I'm going to go Mario and Luigi.
Dang it. That's such a good pick.
That was like my GOAT video game growing up was Mario on the DS. I've always been a Mario guy. Always will be. For my next pick, I'm heading to music. I'm going Outkast. Big boy and 3 stacks.
Ooh, okay.
I can get into that. So, yeah.
Ooh, I love that pick actually. Wow, okay. Good call. Good call. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm an Andre 3000 guy. I'm a rider.
I like that pick a lot. Wow. That kind of
you learn something new about Nate every episode.
It's one of my better takes in all of history, right there.
I really agree, Nate. I think that's one of your better takes. I really like that pick.
It's way better than protein powder and grits. That one really.
Drew, I think you're picking. Yeah, Drew.
Okay, yeah. I will go. I mean, this is my number 1 overall. This is it's milk and cookies, obviously. That's 1-1 on my board. I'm thoroughly impressed. I mean, right here, we have got a wonderful evening planned out. Hall and Oates, Shaq and Kobe, milk and cookies. Sign me up. Wait till that fourth pick comes around, though. Rhys, to you for 2, I believe.
Okay. I'm going to go. Oh, do I want to stay in the same content space? Probably not. I'm going to go with C3PO and R2D2. They are an iconic. They are such a good duo. R2D2 and C3PO are in every single one of the numbered Star Wars movies. They're in the greatest movie franchise of all time. They also have their own little things. Like C3PO is kind of proper and like, you know, and R2D2 just doesn't give a damn. I was going to say something else. And yeah, I just think that the best good cop, bad cop routine out there. R2D2 has a little bit more sass and a little bit more energy, and C3PO is more reserved and a little bit more timid. I think they'd also make a fantastic couple if they're not already. I don't know what they do behind closed doors. I don't judge. So yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to finish off. I think this is like a slam dunk draft for me. I'm going to go with SpongeBob and Patrick. I'm going to finish off the draft with the greatest cartoon duo of all time. Patrick is very Patrick, is the nicest way to put it. He's a little bit more deep than people realize. There's a lot of emotional. He's very emotionally. I don't know. He's got a childlike wonder, but he's you know, he has moments where he's very like genuinely emotional, and SpongeBob has they just fit each other so well. It's just a great duo. I'm very excited to talk about other duos that didn't get drafted because there's a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's my draft board though. A mac and cheese. I was about to say LeBron, but Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, C3PO and R2D2, and then SpongeBob and Patrick. I think this is a win for Rhys.
It's a good draft. It's a good draft. Okay, I'm stuck because okay, we're going to go with my gut here because I have a specific reason that this one should not be picked, even though it is an iconic duo. But so I'm not going to go with it. I am going to go with my gut and go with the characters, Jerry Seinfeld and George Costanza. That is, I've been such a Seinfeld guy for the last probably 5 years. That show is insanely good. Some day you wake up, you're a Jerry. Some day you wake up, you're a George. Some days you wake up and you're the Cosmo Kramer. It's a wonderful thing. Some days you wake up and you're Elaine. I love that show. But yeah, Jerry and George are a wonderful duo and they have great banter. So I'm going to go with that. Nate, round us out. Oh, sorry, my draft. I did get my top 4 picks, by the way. In order, Hall and Oates, Shaq and Kobe, milk and cookies, Jerry and George.
Rhys, I think we have a real shot at this one. And I'm saying that knowing that Drew's going to win. Here's my problem.
I don't know.
I want to go sports here, but there's not a clear next sports duo.
There is.
You guys took the 2 big ones. So I'm going to walk you through my mental process here is Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, Tom Brady and Gronk, Jose Canseco and Mark McGwire.
The Bash Brothers is the pick, Nate.
Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr.
LeBron James and Bronny.
I think the Bash Brothers is that's the highest left on my board. I think I'm gonna go Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, just to play into our baseball crowd. But that's a weak pick compared to a lot of what's going on here.
I think any baseball. I think baseball didn't even cross my mind. I just never thought of it as a duo.
I almost drafted fathers and sons, the OG duo.
Wow. Okay, so the concept of fathers and sons.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. There's some bad dads out there. So maybe
funny, I'm sure. Left on my board, Han Solo and Chewbacca was also on my board.
Han Solo and
Star
Chewbacca
Wars two Star Wars is a lot.
Yeah.
Cereal and milk was also there. I had cereal or milk and cookies too. Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper is a very good one.
That is the basis for any dish. I will not eat something that do not have salt.
So,
and pepper,
go ahead, Nate. Go through the rest of your also rans because I have a contentious one.
Just Calvin and Hobbes is my last one. I almost took it. That was the OG cartoon.
Calvin and Hobbes
comic.
So I think that just to break down the draft, I think that I could have done better reaching to a broader audience if instead of Seinfeld and Costanza, I took Batman and Robin. But Batman as a single character is just as interesting as Batman and Robin. Not to say Robin's not interesting and not to say anything
not a
about
duo.
Robin, but I think that Batman and hold on, what'd you just say?
It's a duo, but it's not like on the level. There's a clear pecking order there.
Okay. I follow.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason in the Dark Knight trilogy, Robin doesn't really get brought up, right? Like,
Right. I think by that same standard, though, I'm not trying to. Never mind. I'm not going to dunk on anybody's drafts, but I was just going to say I think that there has that same dichotomy exists in several picks, but
You're right.
But I think Batman as an individual character is arguably more interesting than he with Robin. So that was what put that one out. I also had peanut butter and chocolate.
Robin kind of a buzzkill. Like Robin kind of can kind of suck. So he really drags down the duo.
Not a vibe.
Not a vibes guy. He's like, no, I'm just joking. I was about to say, oh, my parents died. You know?
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
I'm just joking. I'm totally joking. Robin is a buzzkill though. Let's be real.
Oh, that's hilarious. I wish I could find. I have some quotes on my Facebook page from years ago where I had like the old Batman show. I like watched it for I don't know a minute or two, and I'm never gonna find it. Batman said some of the most out of pocket stuff to Robin. Anyway, other stuff that I've got on my also rans. Chips and salsa, Nate. I could have swore you would pick chips and salsa.
That was a Nate pick if I've ever heard one.
I've taken in 2 drafts already.
That's fair. Lennon and McCartney, Simon and Garfunkel, Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber came to mind as like a worst case scenario pick. There were some good ones though. So, Rhys, what was on your also rans?
Okay. I love this movie. The Barbie movie, Barbie and Ken. That is an iconic duo. A lot of crying in that movie. From definitely not me. Tom and Jerry. I'm surprised they didn't get drafted at all. That was like someone I really thought about. Buzz Lightyear and Woody. That would have been a fantastic one. Dory and what's
Marlon.
Nemo's dad? Marlon. Yes, that would have been a fantastic one. I'm just naming off Disney movies at this point. I mean, I did go with a Disney movie technically in R2-D2 and C-3PO, where I might have suggested they might be lovers. Again, no judgment. We're a very positive podcast in that way.
Accepting.
The most progressive sports podcast out there. Some of
the most progressive prospect podcast there is. Shrek and Donkey was someone that was definitely on my. They might be lovers too. No judgment. Snoopy and Woodstock would have been really good too. That's a big Snoopy fan, but most of mine were just cartoons. That's sort of where the buddy sort of thing plays up well.
Yeah, Rhys White and Drew Wheeler was on my board.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Shaggy and Scooby-Doo is also on my board too. I'm pulling up this AOL article. Let's see what they have.
Kyle and Taylor.
That's a good one.
Beavis and Butthead would have been good. Beavis and Butthead would have been really, really good. I'm just going through this. Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, it's fine. Lilo's kind of a buzzkill sometimes.
So
drags down the whole party.
Lenny and Carl from The Simpsons is one that would have been a neat shout. Burns and Smithers. There's a couple of good Simpsons duos.
I was gonna say Marge and Homer. That would have been great. Maggie and Talking would have been a great duo. I'm trying to think. Was there any other? Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. They're not even together anymore. Get it together. Yeah. Ash and Pikachu. That would have been really good.
That would have been a good one for sure.
Jay-Z and Beyonce. I don't think they're a top 50 duo of all time. Oh, Meredith Grey and Derek Shepard. Whoever wrote this article needs to get fired. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen are not the 39th best duo of all time.
I just thought of it. I thought of an awesome draft we need to do sometime, guys. We need to draft TV shows we've never watched.
Adding it to the list.
TV shows that we like the idea of but never have watched.
Just like this is the show that everybody loves that I've never watched. Like shows I've never watched, and then the winner of the draft would be the one who people are like, this guy sucks. Like you have missed some incredible television.
Breaking Bad. 1-1 for me.
Oh, that's so bad. That's such a bad take.
Exactly. Well, exactly. That's the whole point. Is I could win the draft.
I think you've already cemented it. Maybe.
So we can't do that draft.
You guys can't draft that. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's some like movies I haven't seen. Boy, I'd cook you boys. Oh. And I think I've got like 7 years of movies on you.
I don't watch movies. My girlfriend's dad is a big movie buff, and he just lists off these movies. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You might as well be speaking a different language, my man.
You sure you don't want to talk about like single A baseball prospects?
Yeah, you sure you don't want to talk about the Dominican Summer League right now?
That's great.
Well,
I think it was a fantastic draft. I like to think that I think that might be my best showing in a draft. I think I just got everything that I would draft in the first round.
I think this might be the closest draft, and this is the one I want to know who wins it.
Me too. Good draft. Good draft.
Yeah. Shows I've never watched. Friends. Never seemed interesting.
There, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen Seinfeld either. Yeah, I would win this.
Yeah, this is not fair.
All right, Rhys,
it's
where can
movies we've
people
never
find
seen?
you?
Oh, they can find
Nate, you've never seen Seinfeld ever.
like
It
never an
came
episode.
out before I was alive.
I think it came out.
I mean,
before
it
alive as well.
was over before you were alive, Nate.
Exactly.
Rhys, when were you born?
I was born in '97.
So Rhys could have had some Seinfeld. I mean,
Isn't it?
I guess.
Wasn't like the finale of Seinfeld like one of the most watched things on television besides O.J. Simpson's
Yes.
Chasing? Oh, and also it's a fun fact. You know, like I said, Nate, if you ever need help on Hinge, I got really good fun facts.
That's going to be the best.
David Hasselhoff was going to have a musical premiere because he could never get his music to sell well in the United States, but he was is a pop star in, I forget what country he comes from, what Eastern European country. But the same day that his special was supposed to air was the O.J. Simpson chase. So that kind of derailed and ruined his chance of being a pop star in the United States.
Dude, the girls are gonna love that one.
Dude, I'm
They're
telling
going
you.
to eat that one up.
Well, what's the difference between Antarctica and Arctica? Ant means that no bears. Arctica means bears. And I forgot what language. I think Greek. I'm telling you, man, I got all these fun facts. Caesar salad is actually a Mexican dish.
Guys, I'm telling you at home, when Rhys and I take over Nate's Hinge for how long would you let us have access? 30 minutes?
I mean, realistically, I don't even know how you do that, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna have to be a special episode.
I feel like if you share stream,
you give us your password, you give us your social security number, your mom's maiden name, and all that, and then we could all figure it out from there.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to give you guys like a pool of pictures to choose from, and then you can just do whatever you want from there. The problem is, as a man, I just don't have pictures of myself.
You know what? You're kind of right on that. You should just put pictures of you in podcasts. I'm sure that'll go over swimmingly.
There you
Hey
go.
guys.
Just Big Nate the entire time. Just
Or like then you do one where you're like really listening deeply. You're like, oh. Maybe one like you're directing, like you're kind of like.
I always thought we should get costumes for this podcast, and that would be great on your Hinge. Just we all just start wearing costumes for no reason.
Yes.
I love how this "What's on Your Mind" is as long as the actual episode.
Whoops.
All 10 people who listen to this, they know what they're getting into.
Yeah. Rhys, where can the people find you?
You cannot find me on Bluesky. I mean, you can. I'm just not going to post anything over there. You can find me on Twitter at RhysBwhite, Instagram. If you find someone that looks like me, that's probably me. I don't know if I'm famous enough yet to have people having a separate account. And yeah, where can they find you, Drew?
If you want to follow me between our podcasting endeavors, you may do so on the Twitter machine at drewisokay, where I would love to talk to you about the upcoming MLB draft because I'm going to be there in person and I'm hyped about it. You can find me on Instagram at drewisokay as well because it has now been pruned and cleaned like my floors at home and like my bathtubs at home by my wife. And
what is going on at your house that you have to prune your floors?
That was a weird choice of words. You're absolutely right, Rhys. I'm not pruning my floors.
Maybe Mallory is right to use all that bleach. I'm so sorry. I should be railing the exit of this podcast.
No, it's fine. And you can follow me on Bluesky at smada, smada.bsky.social. You can find me on there. And if you do find me on there, be sure to insult me about how small my head is and just insult me about how I need to wear a man-sized hat. That'd be great. if you could do that. Smada.bsky.social. Thank you. Y'all okay?
The laugh break.
Oh my god! I need to wear a man's hat. It's so good.
That's all, folks.
All right, time for my favorite segment.
Nathaniel, where could they find you on social?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. You guys can find me on the Jeremy Renner app.
What
it's titled Jeremy Renner Official. Connect with two-time Academy Award nominee Jeremy Renner on his official app. Exclusive content, exciting giveaways and prizes. Get to know Jeremy and other fans.
Yeah.
It's rated 5 stars. So go find me on the Jeremy Renner app.
By Jeremy Renner. It's just him.
The Jeremy Renner app by Jeremy Renner. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you on Friday, right before the drafts. See you guys.